I found tickets for a cruise that my boyfriend got me, except they weren't supposed to be a gift, they were supposed to be a secret. I was looking for our insurance papers when I found an envelope in his desk drawer. 2 Royal Caribbean tickets. My name wasn't on either one. The dates caught my eye first. March 12th, 19. That's the exact week he told me he'd be at a conference in Denver for work. I remember because I'd offered to go with him and he said spouses weren't allowed. I took pictures of everything. Booking confirmation, 2 passengers, balcony suite, $4,300 total. The second name was someone from his office. I sat on our bedroom floor for 20 minutes just staring at my phone. She worked in his department. I'd met her at the company Christmas party. She complimented my dress. I didn't say anything that night. Instead, I called his company's HR the next morning. Said I was his fiancé planning a surprise and needed to confirm his conference hotel. The woman was confused. We don't have any conferences scheduled in March. I thanked her and hung up. My hands were shaking. That evening, I asked him about Denver. He had the whole story ready. Sessions he'd attend, colleagues he'd see, even complained about the hotel being downtown. He showed me the confirmation email on his phone. I nodded and smiled. Over the next 3 weeks, I became a detective. I checked our credit card statements and found charges to a jewelry store I'd never been to. Dinner reservations at restaurants we'd never visited together. A charge for $180 at Victoria's Secret when I hadn't bought anything. I started screenshotting everything, building a folder on my phone labeled insurance docs. March 12th came. I watched him pack, drove him to the airport, kissed him goodbye. He told me he loved me. I said it back. Then I went home and called his mom. Your son's going on a cruise this week. She went silent. I could hear her breathing. With who? She finally asked. I was hoping you could tell me. The pause lasted forever. Then she started crying. I'm so sorry. I told him this would destroy you. Turns out she knew everything. His work trips for the past year were all cruises with his coworker. Different destinations every few months. His mom had been covering for him because she didn't want to see another son get divorced like his brother. She thought if she stayed quiet, he'd end it on his own. He told me you two were having problems, she said. He said you'd grown apart. I laughed. It sounded hollow. We literally planned our wedding venue last month. She went quiet again. What? Yeah, we put down the deposit 3 weeks ago. I heard her inhale sharply. She didn't know about the engagement. He'd been lying to everyone. I didn't call him. I changed the locks that afternoon. My brother helped me pack all his stuff into boxes. We left everything in his mom's driveway by 8 p.m. Then I texted him, hope the weather's nice. Your stuff is at your mom's. Don't contact me. He called immediately. I declined. He called 17 more times that night. I sent every single one to voicemail. The messages started coming in. First confused. What's going on? Did something happen? Then angry. You can't just lock me out of my apartment. Then desperate. Please just talk to me. I blocked him on everything except email. I needed a paper trail. Day 2. She started texting me. She didn't know I knew. Hey, haven't seen you in forever. We should grab coffee soon. I replied. Enjoy the cruise. Balcony suites are nice this time of year. She stopped texting. Day 3. His mom sent me a message. You deserved better than my son's lies. I should have told you the first time. I'm so sorry. I drove to her house that afternoon. She showed me everything. Texts between her and my ex where he asked her to cover for him. Photos he'd sent her from previous trips that he claimed were work events. He sent me this last year, she said, showing me a photo of him and his coworker on a beach. Said it was a team building retreat. I recognized her pink bikini. She'd posted the same photo on Instagram, tagged as vacation mode. His mom handed me an envelope. This is for the wedding deposit. It's not enough to fix what he did, but it's something. I took it. We sat in her kitchen drinking tea while she apologized over and over. My ex is still calling. 73 missed calls in 3 days. His emails are getting longer. He's writing novels trying to explain. I haven't read a single one past the first line. Yesterday, I got a text from an unknown number. This is her. I didn't know you two were engaged. He told me you broke up 6 months ago. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I typed back, we put down a wedding deposit 3 weeks ago. She didn't respond. This morning, I woke up to an email from his brother. I always knew he'd do this, just like our dad. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I'm not crying anymore. I'm just numb, but I kept a wedding deposit refund. And I'm going on a cruise next month, just me.
My sister permanently crippled me and everybody wants me to forgive her. When I was 16, she was supposed to drive me home from school because our parents were working late. What they didn't know was that she'd been drinking at her boyfriend's house since 2 p.m. She picked me up at 3:30 and I could smell the vodka, but she promised she was fine. At the intersection 2 blocks from our house, she ran a red light at 45 mph and T-boned another car. She walked away with cuts and bruises. My right leg absorbed the entire impact. 3 surgeries, 8 months of physical therapy, $180,000 in medical bills that my parents are still paying off. The doctor said I was lucky they could save the leg at all, but what they saved doesn't work right. I'm 22 now and I walk with a cane. I can't stand for more than 20 minutes without pain shooting up my spine. I had to quit the soccer team I'd been on since I was 8. I lost my scholarship to state because I couldn't pass the physical requirements anymore. 5 years later, my sister's sober. She goes to AA meetings 3 times a week, volunteers at a rehab center, and everyone acts like that erases what happened. My mom keeps telling me how proud she is of my sister's progress. My dad says she's a different person now. Last year at Thanksgiving, they sat her right next to me without asking. When I got up and moved to the other end of the table, my mom followed me into the kitchen and said I was making things uncomfortable for everyone. The thing is, nobody asks if I'm uncomfortable. Nobody asks if it hurts to watch her live a normal life while I calculate every step I take. She goes hiking with her new boyfriend on weekends. I can't walk through a grocery store without needing to sit down halfway through. She posts Instagram photos from music festivals. I haven't been able to stand through a concert since I was 16. Last month was my college graduation. I worked twice as hard as everyone else to finish because some days the pain was so bad I couldn't get out of bed. My parents invited my sister without telling me. When they called my name, I walked across that stage with my cane and I saw her in the 3rd row crying. After the ceremony, she came up to me in front of everyone and tried to hug me. I stepped back. She said she was so proud of me that she knew how hard I worked. I just stared at her. My mom grabbed my arm afterward in the parking lot and said I was being cruel, that my sister has worked so hard to change, that I was breaking her heart. I told her my sister broke my leg, but apparently that's different. Yesterday was the breaking point. My parents invited me to dinner for my birthday. When I walked into the restaurant and saw my sister sitting at the table with a wrapped present in front of her, I turned around and walked out. My dad followed me to the parking lot. He was yelling before he even caught up to me. Said I was tearing this family apart. Said my sister cries herself to sleep because I won't forgive her. Said everyone makes mistakes and I need to move move on. I stopped walking and turned around. I asked him if he remembered visiting me in the hospital when I was 16. He said of course. I asked him if he remembered me screaming during physical therapy sessions because the pain was so bad I threw up. He said yes. I asked him if he remembered telling me everything would be okay, that I'd recover and life would go back to normal. He didn't answer that one. I said she took my normal away because she decided getting drunk was more important than my safety. I said she made a choice that day, and I'm living with the consequences every single morning when I wake up and my leg hurts before I even get out of bed. I said if she felt so bad, she could give me her legs and see how it feels to be 22 and walk like you're 80. He just stood there as I got in my car and drove off. My phone started blowing up before I even got home. Text messages from my mom saying I was being selfish. Messages from my aunt saying forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. A voicemail from my sister saying she understands if I hate her, but could we please just talk? They keep calling it a grudge, like I'm choosing to be angry. But every single time I reach for my cane, every time I have to turn down plans because I know I won't be able to keep up, every time someone asks me why I'm limping, I remember exactly why I can't forgive her. She got to move on. I'm still stuck at that intersection 5 years ago, and no amount of AA meetings will ever give me my leg back.